We're on Dorchester Road heading westbound. So away from the Charleston Peninsula proper. Remember, Dorchester Road, for the most part, we're paralleling Rivers Avenue and I-26, which are both off to our right. The closest thing to our left is not going to be a highway. It is going to be the Ashley River. This area, very much like the video that we did on Wando Woods, it's an older area, but it was prime property back in the 60s and 70s because of Ashley River waterfront property. I'm not sure really if waterfront property meant that much in the Charleston area back, again, we're talking 50, 60 years ago. I should say, as much as it does today. Today, a lot of the property is really, really sought after high-end property. So, the area that we're going to look at for this video, and I hope that I'm getting enough daylight left, excuse me, that I can post it, is Evanston Estates. Evanston Estates. You see we're entering right now. This is, again, it's one of these residential neighborhoods that dates back from the 60s and 70s, but the 70s mostly, that are older homes. All the homes in Evanston Estates, because there's really no commercial traffic here, are all very nice homes, as you'll well see. Even though it's a fairly large subdivision compared to Wando Woods or Covington Hills. It looks like our first stop down this direction, unfortunately, was a turnabout. I don't spend a lot of time in Evanston Estates. Back when I was a cop, of course, Evanston Estates was bustling, but it being such a quiet neighborhood for the most part, there was never a whole lot of reason for us to respond back in here. So if I don't seem real familiar with the houses in the area, that's why. A fairly good area. This is Evanston Drive. That was Helene that we just accidentally turned right onto. Going by Barwick. We have another dead end here to the right. That's kind of, you got cul-de-sacs down here to the right. Nothing really connects to anything back there. Here's Edith Street. Again, very nice houses. A little bit older. They date from my heyday back in the 70s and 80s. None of them have ever really been rebuilt to the best of my knowledge. The architecture is all very similar to each other. A lot of brick. I know back then brick was the thing. A brick home was a big seller. So any of the high-end older neighborhoods from that area, you're going to see a lot of brick construction. It's funny though, until you get back here to the riverfront. Now we're on Waterview. Waterview for a good reason, because it parallels the water. We're going to turn right. I think this is not a dead end, but we're going to do a U-turn up here. If I remember back when I was Harbor Patrol and did a lot of diving for the police department, used to be a boat ramp right here to the left. I'm not sure if it's still going to be there or not. I don't think it was a public boat ramp. Yeah, see, there it is, right there. See the footage of the boat ramp, and it is open. It wasn't a public boat ramp. I think it was a neighborhood thing. Pulled a lot of stolen cars out of there in my day. Not that they were stolen from this area. The local people that knew of that boat ramp, that knew it was secluded enough that they could ditch a car in there. I'm going to turn my camera to the right so you can see some of these waterfront houses, and you're going to see the sun going down in the background. Here's a waterfront for sale. no price tag under contract. I just want you to be able to see some of these houses on the on Waterview Drive. Again, very, very nice houses. Older, but the real estate market in the 70s was a little bit different than it is today. I know I'm repeating myself, but I just don't know if waterfront property held the same amazing value that it has today. If you saw that between the houses, we had a beautiful view. I'm going to turn back. I'm going to be coming back into the frame here because I'm turning back to... Again, the name of this is Evanston Drive. There's Renee and Waterview Circle. Layla Drive, Waterview Circle. Amazing houses. Beautiful, beautiful houses. Older, but very, very pleasant, very nice. A couple undeveloped lots. That kind of surprises me, being waterfront property. Unless some of those people may be very, very smart and holding on to them, knowing that their value is doing nothing but increasing. Melissa, I want to say Melissa. I thought it was a dead end, but I guess I'm wrong. What I could do is turn my GPS on over here. If you saw me pushing my button there. That was me turning the GPS on position. Layla Drive. Look at these houses. They're so nice. I know a lot of people that live back in here, but most of them bought their houses in the 60s and 70s when this was a newer subdivision. I apologize. We're heading straight into the sun. Hopefully this video comes out and I won't have to redo it. People out walking the dogs. Hey, you know, some guy had a USS Forrestal ball cap on. Forrestal being the carrier that back in the Vietnam War had a bad accident, bad fire on the Forrestal, killed a bunch of people. It's interesting that he had that ball cap on, and it'll a lot of, you got to remember Charleston being initially a big Navy town. A lot of Navy veterans in this area. The 70s, 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, all three decades were big Navy in the Charleston area. And this being a newer development in that in that time frame, attracted a lot of higher end Navy personnel. I don't think E1, E2, E3 would have bought a waterfront home back in the day in Evanston Estates, but certainly mid to higher level officers definitely would have been able to afford these homes, and I'm sure did. A lot of them being officers in the 50s and 60s up to the 70s are probably aging out, and a lot of the property is probably being turned over to kids and or sold. So this is Evanston Estates. Goodwin Elementary here to the left, and we're pulling back out onto Dorchester Road. You can see that we have some